Hello and welcome to ConstructorCast, your AGC place for all the news, views, and interviews relevant to your construction business. I'm your host, Leah Pilkonis. This is the 8th recording in our COVID-19 special edition series, where we bring you timely information that construction companies need to consider as they strive for business continuity. The COVID-19 pandemic has had an impact on business learning and development. AGC of America has certainly felt this because we offer a number of educational programs throughout the year that provide career development opportunities for contractors. Since mid-March, all of AGC's live events have been postponed, or we've had to look for ways to bring the same caliber of information to contractors in a virtual format. I have three of my colleagues here with me today to share an inside look at how AGC is shifting from a physical environment to virtual events so we can continue to provide the same support to the construction industry. I'd like to invite them each to say hello and introduce themselves. Jeff, why don't you go first?
Hi, thanks, Leah. My name is Jeff Wilson. I'm the Vice President of Marketing at AGC of America.
Thank you, Jeff. Nazia, how about you?
Hi, everyone. My name is Nazia Shah, and I'm the Director of Safety and Health Services at AGC.
Thanks for being with us. Jordan?
Hi, I'm Jordan Howard. I'm the Director of the Federal and Heavy Construction Division.
Thank you, Jordan. So Jeff, I want to start with you and ask my first question to you. As the Vice President of Business Development, I know that you want to do all you can to continue to improve the performance of the construction industry. How is AGC adapting its conferences and all of its educational strategies to try to continue to reach contractors during this pandemic?
Thanks, Leah. Yeah, it's a crazy time right now, to say the least, and we're focusing on it from an association standpoint. I can only imagine the challenges of from a contractor's perspective. But the role that we play as an association in helping to educate and train and connect our members is really important, and probably more so now than ever in helping contractors deal with the ongoing pandemic issues, job site closures, and then the new normal with keeping people protected and safe on a job site. So the need for our association to continue to create opportunities for training, to continue to create opportunities for networking and best practice sharing is really important. And the issues that we've been facing both now and as we're looking ahead through the fall have had a really big impact on our normal course of business. So as you referenced, across almost all of our conferences from beginning in April already through now August, are facing situations where the hotels and conferences and venues are unable to safely hold these conferences or are limited in their capacity based on local ordinances. So as such, we've really had to look at how we can quickly adapt in order to continue these programs going forward, how we continue to support the members as we go through this. So we've really been looking at taking a lot of our conferences virtual, scheduling and changing the format so that we can better enable anyone to participate in these conferences, no matter where they are in the country, without having to travel. Obviously, there's restrictions from a regulatory and a local ordinance level, all the way to corporate travel restrictions that are impacting some things. So we feel like the need for us to continue to operate our meetings and provide these education and training venues is critical. So virtual is really the only option that we have. So we're fortunate that we feel like we've got some really great tools and solutions and a great team of volunteer leaders and staff that are going to help us put all these conferences in a virtual format. Kind of in addition to the conferences that we hold, we also do a wide variety of training. We've historically done webinars as a big part of our solution, allowing folks to connect and learn from experts in the industry. But we have definitely ramped up our level of activities with webinars in the last 10 weeks since all of this really started to hit hard. So we continue to see webinars as being a real important part of how we can continue to educate the membership, especially around key issues, and how we can continue to serve in the capacity that we were previously. I think beyond that, the thing that we're really seeing on the education front is from the Agency of America chapters, and the local chapter network has really stepped up and is supporting the members in their area with virtual training. Many of them were already doing some level of virtual training, but all of them now are rapidly looking to adapt to this new normal for however long it lasts as well. So whether it be safety training, OSHA 10 and 30-hour courses being moved online, a lot of the chapters are now holding a wide variety of courses virtually at their own local level. So I would encourage members to check with their local chapter on the training opportunities that are available. In addition, chapters have also expanded their partnerships. A lot of our chapters are now partnering with organizations like United Rentals, United Academy, companies like Click Safety to offer their virtual training programs as well, typically with a member discount involved. So, it's pretty impressive to have seen the way national and our chapters have adapted to this and are still continuing to deliver value to the members.
And it's interesting too, Jeff, to see how many multiple platforms or different formats are available now to offer training and to help get back on track. And I've noticed that technology has come such a long way from the webinar where you're just staring at slides on a screen to now actually really providing some true interaction and seeing people, their faces up there talking. So I know you've spent a lot of time setting up the proper infrastructure and exploring different opportunities. I'm sure that you've been both a bit overwhelmed as well as impressed with all that there is to offer. Is there anything that you'd like to say about that? Just how many opportunities there are, and that it's good that we are in the age of technology.
Well, I think you nailed it. The infrastructure that's required to support a virtual training is really nothing more than a computer, an internet connection, and a camera. And the camera itself is also not always as essential as long as the instructor has visibility. But the level of collaboration and communication that you're able to have with somebody halfway across the country or halfway around the world, just sitting at your desk is pretty amazing. I don't think that we could be as connected with the members and doing the job that we're doing if we didn't have these really easy to use tools at our fingertips. And whether it be GoToWebinar, Zoom, Microsoft Teams platforms that are being adopted by contractors, by our chapters, or the tools that we're using nationally. It really is amazing how easy they are to deploy, and the level of interaction that we're able to have that in many ways can mimic or mirror what we're doing in person, and sometimes is even a better way for us to connect. We're able to do it faster, quicker,
Right.
and without having to have folks travel. And certainly in these points in times, it's critical that that's the case.
Well, thanks for providing so many opportunities and for keeping all of AGC's educational offerings going. I want to take a quick look at two upcoming AGC programs that are going online or virtual. Nazia, you're a key player in executing the Summer Safety, Health, and Environmental Conference. Can you tell us about the process that you've been going through to ensure a smooth transition from what has historically always been a 300 plus person in-seat conference for safety, health, and environmental professionals across the country to now a strictly online virtual program?
Sure, Leah. So first and foremost, our decision to go virtual really had everything to do with ensuring the safety and health for our attendees, our staff, our sponsors, and the larger community. We still plan to have the same exceptional content and great speakers that our attendees have become used to. We've been reworking the schedule to take into consideration our attendees who are on the West Coast, Central. So we've adjusted our start and end times. We've also looked at ways that we can incorporate our great sponsors into our sessions and into our schedule. We've also gone ahead and looked at recording all of our sessions. So folks who are not able to typically tune in, they would have access to it. For anyone who registers, you're still able to earn CEUs, whether you're joining us on those days, or if you're watching afterwards. And really, it's still possible that we could reach a larger audience. We've certainly heard a lot about some of the travel restrictions and budget restrictions that our members are now facing. So I think that this is a good opportunity for those who might not have been otherwise able to join us to really tune in.
I know you wanted to share about the continuing education units, because that's always really important to people who attend. And are you going to be able to keep that offering?
Yes, definitely. So we're still going to be able to offer the CEUs. What you really do is you're going to be sitting through the recorded session, and then you're going to be taking your quiz like you would any other time. So you're still available to do that. And I know that a lot of our attendees, have to earn their CEUs every year. And so we see that as really vital as to incorporate into the program.
One of the things that I found really also important to kind of share with the Safety and Health Conference, one of the things that we're doing, as Nazia mentioned, we feel like this is an opportunity to perhaps reach a broader audience. And we have made adjustments to our registration pricing on that to make it more cost effective for folks to attend. So, our hope is that folks that maybe wanted to come in the past but haven't been able to, whether because travel costs were high or they just didn't have the budget in their training and education funds to be able to do so, will now be able to participate and get a chance to see what these conferences are all about.
That's great. Now, one more question, Nazia. Well, actually, maybe two more questions. I know that in the past, because I've attended many of these programs, some of the sessions are focused on like a kind of roundtable discussion format. There's an opportunity where some of the safety leaders get together and have an interactive conversation that's not so much focused on a presentation, and the in-house environmental managers do the same thing. So can you just share with our listeners kind of how we're exploring different platforms and different ways to make that opportunity still available?
Yeah, sure. So, as Jeff mentioned, we've been looking at various platforms to really support our shift to virtual. And for our sessions that are more of a roundtable discussion, we're even going to look to platforms such as Microsoft Teams, where you have different channels, where it's easy for our members and our attendees to really navigate into those chat rooms and become part of that interactive discussion and really mimicking that in-person experience.
Great. That's exciting. Yeah, I'm excited to be part of it. Where can folks go to find out more? And what are the exact dates of this program?
Sure. So for more information, folks can go to shec.agc.org. And the dates are still our in-person dates. It's July 14 through 16.
Great. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
So Jordan, let's find out about your upcoming program. We're turning now to the 2020 Federal Contractors Conference. And this has always been a particularly unique AGC program where federal contractors directly interact with and pose questions to construction leaders at multiple federal agencies. So share with us, how are you bringing that kind of program to a virtual event?
Yeah, thank you, Leah, for having me. And I just echo everything Nazia said about the health and safety of our attendees and our speakers are paramount. So that really drove our decision to go virtual this year. Federal Contractors Conference typically every year is hosted in Washington, D.C., where we bring many federal agencies, think of the Army Corps, GSA, the Small Business Administration, which I think will have a lot to say this year, to the table with contractors to really have a dialogue with those federal entities. And like you said, I think that's what makes it unique, a chance to share our challenges and solutions and sort of turn them into a positive solutions for the better. And so while the in-person meetings may be on pause, the issues that our industry faces still go on. So that conversation really needs to continue. And that factored into our decision to go virtual. So in order to keep that conversation going, we were looking at different ways to bring both the government and attendees together to continue that dialogue. And so this virtual platform where we can have multiple speakers, everyone can be seen, was very important to our decision and going forward. So we're going to be centering our conference around that interactive platform, trying to make it as similar to an in-person conference as possible and continue that great dialogue.
Well, I know that in the past, you have invited federal contractors to submit their questions in advance so the federal agency officials can get prepared and be ready to answer them when everyone comes together. Is that opportunity still open?
It's still open. So our agendas are really driven by the attendees, and the experts are the contractors in the field. So they can send me jordan.howard@agc.org any questions you have. We can pose them to the agencies and get that feedback. We'll also have an option for clearly, during the conference, during that dialogue, to bring up questions, and we'll go over those. But I think, just that interactiveness. So, that was part of our decision in going to a certain platform that allows that, but it may not be best depending on however your conference is focused. For instance, we chose not to record our session at this year's conference. So the only way you can be kind of part of that dialogue is actually register in order to have that, candid dialogue that we've had in years past. We're trying to keep that for this virtual conference.
And that's a really good point, just again, differentiating between the different platforms and different formats. Some work for some conferences, some don't work for others. Jordan, just as Nazia shared, I want you to share the exact dates of your program and where folks can go for more information.
Yeah, absolutely. So this year's virtual conference will be June 8th through the 12th, and you can go to fedcon.agc.org. So FEDCON, fedcon.agc.org. You can register and find out more information there. And sort of like Jeff was saying, webinars is sort of taking off as an educational medium. We're fully cognizant maybe not everyone knows the federal market, but might be interested given sort of the volatility that we see today. So next week, on the 28th, we'll be hosting a webinar educating contractors who may be interested in the federal market, showing them sort of the basics of how to get registered, what to expect, and importantly, what pitfalls contractors should be aware of, and so that they can avoid that and be successful in the federal market.
Great, thanks, Jordan. And that webinars are recorded, correct? And then you get
Yes.
emailed to you the recording along with the slides.
Absolutely, and that's information we hope will be invaluable to our members, and something that has a longer shelf life as well.
And I think in this time, with all the challenges that people are facing and with all of the work-life balance challenges, it's nice to be able to go back and listen to things on a time that's convenient for you. So that opportunity to have the recording of things is really useful. I want to thank you all for being with us. I really appreciate you sharing information on how AGC is continuing to provide the same caliber and quality and amount of educational opportunities to the membership. It's been really great talking with you guys. I'm looking forward to the programs that are coming up. This has been another episode of AGC's ConstructorCast. Please subscribe to ConstructorCast from your podcast app, or you can stream all available episodes straight from our website at www.agc.org/ConstructorCast.